Hello and welcome to Black Crow Gaming, and we are here again, but with something slightly different, and we're excited. We are very excited. We've got books, people. Look at the new books.
They're pretty, aren't they? They're nice covers.
They are nice covers. Myself and Simon, if you haven't already guessed by what we've got on the screen, are doing a Space Wolf series. We both got so excited. We both got the books. We both got the boxes sent to us, and then we were like, "Shall we do a video series on this?" And someone was like, "Yeah, let's do a video series." And what's the best way to start it? Tell them, Simon. What was the best way for us to start doing our video series?
Well, apparently a tier review, because people care what we think.
Yeah, well, nerds love to tier stuff. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. To be fair, I watch them. I enjoy them, so why not?
Yeah, God, yeah.
Let's review this book. But before we do that, we have to do a few magical things. So obviously, if you like our content, please feel free to like and subscribe and follow. And if you're feeling a bit cheeky, give us a cheeky super thanks. It really just helps us out, helps out the channel. We've got 3 wonderful sponsors. You have previously seen our Glasshammer Gaming sponsor there with the Black Crow code for an additional 5% off, which is cheeky. Then we've got Terrain Forge, our wonderful independent terrain maker. All of it is done by one guy, and it is all quality terrain. It's what you see on all of our battle reports. Simon loves it. I love it. Yeah. We're going to be featuring it a lot at Black Crow events in the future. And also our newest sponsor is the Trident FutureWorks case. Beautiful case designers based up in Scotland. I had the privilege of meeting them at the UK Games Expo. That was a real joy. Their cases are excellent, and they spray a massive crow on the side in pink. Which is, just exactly what we want. But yeah. let's just get into it. So, Simon, we're both excited. We've both been texting each other, being like, "Oh, this is a really good combo," or "This is a really good combo." Shall we set some ground rules for this tier review?
Yeah, I mean, I've played a few games with them. I've been messing around with like 60 blood claws. We've talked about 120 blood claws. We've talked about multiple stupid sort of lists, really. But there is some obvious combos, I think, but there's also some interesting little combos that could be out there.
I agree. So the rules we're going to do, we're going to follow it by the codex. So we're going to go through the codex page by page, and we're going to assume that each of these units are operating in the best detachment that they can, whether it be one of the sagas, whether it be Gladius or Stormlance or any of the generic Space Marine ones. Unfortunately, I am going to tell you this, bit of a disclaimer, we are probably slightly better in Gladius or Stormlance, I think.
Advance and Charge is clutch with like blood claws. The fact that you could probably do it with Wulfen and like the Headtakers as well would be monumentally good.
Yes. Pretty impactful stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yes. We're meta chasers after all.
We are filthy, filthy meta chasers. Yes. And I accept my disease. So let's talk about it. So we're going to go straight into good old Papa Logan Grimnar. And he's had a bit of a glow up, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's stunning. He looks good. I can't wait to get my hands on him.
I mean, if we were just doing this based on models, just to look at the model, he's up there, S tier.
Oh god, yeah, 100%.
I mean, there is a reason why Blood Angel fans should be upset.
Yeah, we definitely got the Dark Angel treatment opposed to the Blood Angel treatment.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. And it is a stunning model. Can't wait to get my hands on it. So let's talk about it from like a rules point of view. Now, in any detachments, I don't think really matter for this guy because he's good in everything.
Yeah, the fact that you can just turn 1 deep strike. You can either turn 1 deep strike him, or you could pick another unit to deep strike. Amazing. His CP aura costing opponents an extra CP is fairly useful. Yeah, I'm struggling to build lists with him though. It's maybe because I don't have the model yet.
So I think the footprint is going to be quite key, but I don't think he's the guy that you're bringing in.
No, it's going to be the Terminators with it.
I think actually because you bring them in as if it's like a turn earlier, right? I think there is other plays at bringing like small units in just to like if you get nailed, for example, at you get a bad draw turn 1, and you're like, oh man, what do I do? How do you play that? There are single units that you could take, which have got a small enough bases, which you could do a turn 1 deep strike to get X, Y, Z. There are characters that are cheap enough that you could do. I'm thinking particularly that lone op character that people love to use with the reactive move. I believe you can take him in this book, can't you? You can take up
the lone op LT.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, not bad shout.
You put him in reserve, then you bring him on a turn earlier.
He still wouldn't be able to get into opponent's deployment zone turn 1 though, because he would get as if he was turn 2.
No, but then you can look at something with deep strike built in.
Yeah.
So you could do the same thing. I just like that as a combo. Or if you want to just deep strike onto your natural expansion, these slow moving units, and just say, this is now my expansion.
True. Yeah, that's a good shout.
So I think this guy lives in A tier. Possibly even S.
He's pushing towards S. I don't think he's S just yet. Until we get the model, I think, and sees like the footprint size and lists with him. He's sticking in A for a minute.
Some people may disagree, and if you disagree with this, guys, just please put in the chat and tell us where you think that they belong. But I think he's an A. I think I think that Vectora, because of the size of his base, could be really tasty because that does matter.
Yeah.
So I do like that. So the next
it's a shame it's 12 inches of him and not the unit, because that would be even better. If it was 12 inches of the unit and you had 5 Terminators, you'd just be going, ha.
I've vected the board.
Yes, yeah.
No, I do like that. He's a cool character and he's got damage free. This book has damage free coming out of the wazoo. And that is big.
We're quite good at dealing with stuff.
That's big in this edition.
It is.
Really big. Damage free is like the boogeyman because it's very good. So I think he's an A tier. Now, we'll move on to the Stormcaller.
Yeah. Mr. Stormcaller. He's, again, stunning looking model. He's lost his Terminator plate, which probably... I understand why they've gone to the original modelling of him in his Tacticus armor. I'm just not convinced by him.
Look, giving stuff assault is cute if any of the stuff had meaningful guns.
Yeah, we don't exactly have much in the way of platformer shooting,
so I don't see the point of that ability.
No.
And the next, I think, I has it that the rules have changed that with assault weapons you can still do actions? I don't think so.
No.
So
putting in with Blood Claws to get auto advance 6.
Is it that impactful though?
In certain aspects, it could be really good. So, I really need to roll a 4 or 5 to guarantee that I'm going to have a better charge. Is nice, but
you already moved 7.
Yeah.
So you're already basically +1 to your advance in comparison to other units.
And in my favourite detachment, there's an enhancement to Scout 7.
Yeah, so I think he sits here. In C.
I'd say possibly B, but I can agree with you on C.
I just don't think he's really that impactful. I don't think you're going to see him on the table doing anything major. I don't think his shooting ability isn't that great. It's AP 1 damage, and you've
He's got D3 in melee, fine.
Yeah. I mean, you're reducing the shooting range of the weapons, which is could be quite funny, but that same unit could just move forward 6 inches.
Yeah.
So I'm just not that bothered.
No. He's not going into a list like straight away. You're not building a list around him.
No, if he was like dirt cheap, maybe just because he exists. But I'm not.
Again, I'll get the model because it's a cool model.
Yeah, it's an S tier model.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's have a look at Orick the Slayer. So he is quite cool. He's got some pretty cool rules. I do
Yeah.
like him. I think as a model again, he's very nice. He's got this, 5 attacks, weapon skill 2+, strength 6, AP 2 damage. He can go with Blood Claws, Grey Hunters, Wolfguard Headtakers, and he's quite good with working with your sagas, I believe, which is quite nice. Adding having that Slayer's Oath ability, I quite like it, and being able to then do I think he's +1 to add
+1
one to the hit roll.
+1 to wound.
Yeah, +1 to hit, +1 to wound against those who are kind of the Oath unit, isn't it? The Oath bound unit.
Yeah.
So I think he could be pretty devastating
if he stayed the same way he was in the index. He'd be S tier.
Yeah,
because he has reroll wounds.
+1 to hit and to wound is still quite nice.
It is very good, but the fact you could reroll hits and wounds, and that just meant you had a second oath essentially, was really, really good. With Blood Claws was just fantastic because of the force multiplier.
So where are you thinking we stick this guy?
I mean, I have played with him recently.
And how did you rate him?
It's probably me not playing it so well, but I originally thought A, but I'm probably most likely sort of dropping him towards a B because I think there's better characters. You'd probably take a Wolf Priest over him to bring stuff back, or you bring a Wolfguard Battle Leader.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's better rules. I think he could be devastating in a particular unit.
Yes, I think maybe looking at Headtakers, because then it sort of stacks with their ability to get the precision and devastating wounds off. Could be quite interesting.
Yeah, it could be tasty, especially on the Oath target. Would cause a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So this guy, this absolute angry Dreadnought, Bjorn the Fellhanded. I'm gonna jump a little ahead here and just put him straight up here.
Yep, done.
He needs to be in your lists.
He does.
He feel no pain 5+. He is tough as nails. He generates you a CP every like command phase, and at the start of your command phase, so you just get an extra.
He's got transhuman.
And he's got transhuman, and he's a Dreadnought, and he's a 2-up, 5-up with a 5-up feel no pain.
Yeah.
And
they decided to input the invol into his system this time.
Yeah. So he's just S tier. And in the books he's 180 points. So he's cheap enough that he's worth it.
New Minotaur and Field Manu who is 170.
Oh, has he been released? Has that been released?
Yeah, they've released the Codex points. He's 170 now.
Wow.
So yeah, he is good.
He is nuts.
He is.
He's so good. So he's just going to go in S tier. I think in literally every list I'm going to build, he'll be in it.
I literally started every single list with him. Because the strategy, the army is so CP hungry because you want to be doing reactive moves in Beast Slayer, +1 to wounds, Blood Surge. You want to be constantly moving, and you need the strats.
Yeah, and I think he just makes the army tick.
Yeah,
and I really like that.
His Hellfrost cannon's pretty damn good.
Yeah, the Hellfrost cannon, it's not bad, is it? It's a pretty nice.
Yeah, 5 damage gun.
5 damage gun. You take it, don't you?
Yeah.
Every now and then it might
got 2 flamers because you can have it as torrent, and he has his heavy flamer as well. So
yeah, so that's quite cute. I like it. Yeah. He's easy S tier, and that's where he can. And he can smoke, which I also really find funny.
Yeah, I hadn't even spotted that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's why he just belongs. He's just super irritating. But I don't think you push this guy forward. I think he's the guy that you're like leaving to hang around in your backfield.
Oh, he anchors the whole army. Like you're sort of getting buffs off. Not that he buffs, but he's like a central point, and you're just making sure you're near him. Because Wulfen especially want to be near him because they get OC from him.
He's not somebody who's going to be easy to kill either. So it's not like he can just be picked off from like a deep strike unit. Especially into the current meta where people are dropping in, Death Guard Terminators with flamers. They're wounding him on 5s.
Yeah.
So not that impactful.
No.
This next guy that we're going to look at, Ragnar of the Blackest Manes.
Yeah, stick him straight up with Bjorn.
He's pretty dope, isn't he?
He is. He's very good. He just buffs the Blood Claws. Reroll wounds is fantastic. And
he makes that
charge of Headtakers.
that blood core combo just
Yeah.
makes me very, very happy.
20 blood claws and him is just, it'll blend anything.
Yeet.
Yeah.
And everybody knows I love Yeet.
Yeah.
But he
And
is
you just start the attacks with him and just go, right, well, he's got 10 attacks on the charge with sustained, hitting on 2s, strength 6. It'll blend any Marines.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even with the reroll wounds, it'll blend a vehicle.
Their actual stats is quite crazy. Like I put it into a custodian. I think we were talking about this, and I did it with like certain numbers and so on. On average, they wipe a 5-man custodian unit quite comfortably.
Yeah.
And that's without like really stacking too much, but it's quite nuts. And if he gets that charge off as well, he's just like, and he's got sustained hits as well, which I find really funny. He's just got it innately built in as well. It's just really funny. So we'll move on to the next guy, Mr. Rockfist. This was a little. I found this disappointing.
Yeah, again, stunning model.
But... damage free again, more damage free.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just taking Logan, then you're taking Logan. You don't need Arjac.
No, he's not.
Unfortunately, you're not going to have a whole Terminator detachment, really, are you?
No, he gives them fight on death.
Fine, but they've got to make it there. And if somebody sees Arjac, they're just going to go, right, well, that unit's going to get killed in shooting. And
it's a big points kind of sink if you want to go 10-man Terminators and him just to make it like worth it. Yeah. Very wrong. Like fight on death is great. I've always enjoyed that as a mechanic, but I don't think he even gets into B tier.
No, unfortunately not.
I think he sits in C. Again, if you're watching this and you disagree with us, tell us something different. Tell us if we've missed something, because I personally can't see it. I don't see him as that impactful.
I quite like him in the Grotmus detachment.
Yeah, but that is a really niche detachment.
Yeah, you stick him near an objective and just go, cool, go near that objective and I'm just going to heroic intervention into you.
And we were only given 2 named Terminator characters. Like, why were we just not given a Wolf Guard in a Terminator suit?
Wolf Lord in Terminator armor.
Why? Like, give us a generic...
The fact that I'm assuming we'll be able to take Terminator squads and captains in Terminator armor.
Yeah, but they don't get any of our benefits.
No. They'll just get the Space Wolf keyword, so it means the strats can use them, and that's it.
So it's a bit like meh.
No.
Meh. Yeah. But the Wolf Priest. You like the Wolf Priest. You really like him.
He's beautiful. I haven't got him. He's in his box painted.
So he brings back the dead.
Yeah.
Pretty nice. Pretty nice. And he gives them +1 to wound?
Yes.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not taking him for his combat, are you?
No, God, no. I mean, I'd put him in a unit of 20 blood claws, and opponents have to go, I need to focus an awful lot into them. Because if you don't, I'm just going to bring stuff back.
How many points was he in the field manual? Because he's 70 in the book. Did you say that?
70 in the field manual. He's not gone up.
I don't know if he's S. No. The reason I don't know if he's S is because, yes, it's cute in the Bloodclaw build. And, it's cute in a lot of the builds, actually.
Yeah.
But there are other characters that you would probably rather put in there. If you're taking a 20-man squad of Bloodclaws, are you going to care if he brings one dude back?
No, not so much. Into the Wolf Headtakers, yeah.
So I don't think he's quite as impactful as the two. Because if you think, is he in comparison to the 2 guys we've got in S tier?
No, true.
So I think he's probably at the bottom of A currently. Yeah. He's good. He is good. I'm not going to take that. Yeah.
Saying that, I played 60 blood claws yesterday, and I had 2 wolf priests in there, and then my revision of that list, one of the wolf priests has been dropped for a wolf guard battle leader for sustain.
Okay.
So yeah, probably makes sense.
I think so. I think there's better options.
Yeah.
Now we disagree on this one.
Yeah.
I think the Iron Priest is flat S tier.
Yeah. I get why. Like when I first got the book, I looked at it, I was like, that's brilliant. I'm going to put him in. But opponents, he picks one unit and that gets rapid fire. Okay. They get +1 to hit. Fine. Yeah. A bit like, okay. I think
So this is my thought process, right? You take him with some predators.
Yeah.
Probably two predator annihilators. If you really wanted to, you could take a second and 2 ballistas.
Yeah.
If you took that in Saga of the Beast, all of a sudden that predator becomes as good, if not even maybe even like not better, but it becomes as good as the Caladius grav tank.
Yeah.
Because it gets 6 las cannon shots. Because it's got 3 las cannons. So it then goes to 6 las cannons with lethals.
Yeah.
Hitting on 2s.
I do get that.
And if you want to oath them, if you want that basically that will just flat murder what it's shooting at. And then you could do the same with a ballistas, which all of a sudden makes the ballistas like wildly efficient as well. Yeah. Because you don't need the oath target. The ballistas has built-in oaths basically.
Yeah.
And then just does exactly the same to another unit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think just a savvy opponent's just going to play around it a bit.
But what it does do, though, I know you say savvy will play around it, but if you've got to remember, what do people do when they see big, scary shooting things down gun lines? They hide. And what do Space Wolves want their opponent to be doing?
Hiding, not on objectives, and
not shooting you.
Yeah.
Because they know if they bring out that tank, you're just going to delete the tank.
Yeah.
You have the pace. You're the one with all the pace. You've got all the like that wolf priest moves 7 inches.
True. Yeah. And he's on a 2-up save.
And he's load up, so it's not like he can just be like targeted out. So I personally think he sits in S tier in between Ragnar and Bjorn.
Yeah, he's got to be right next to Bjorn.
Because what he can bring to, like we've already said, Space Wolves are lacking in shooting. Yeah. You don't have he's not going to be going for any of that stuff. But when you put him with the generic Space Marine tanks, all of a sudden we become wildly efficient at killing that one thing you need dead.
Yeah. I have just picked up a Predator tank, so yeah, we'll give that a try.
We'll just look at if you do the maths into like even like a Lehman Russ, it basically just kills the Lehman Russ straight away.
Okay.
Because of the lethals, oath, lethals, hitting on 2s, 6 las cannons.
Jeez. It'll probably kill a new knight as well because they're not as tough anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty baller. And the thing is, this is why you take 2, because you do it with the first one, and then say it kills, they then come back, clap back the other one. You just bring out the second one and do the exact same the next turn.
True.
And you've got to bear in mind, hunter-killer missiles, 2 of them.
Yeah, I did read somewhere. I was like, is that going to work? Yes, apparently it does.
It does work. Hunter-killer missiles with
it's a one-shot weapon. Here's a rapid fire.
So it is strong. It is strong.
Yeah.
And I think it does belong in this. I got a little bit excited there. But I just think because he's not a lot of points, Simon.
No. 70 points. Well, 60 points for an Iron Priest.
60 points. 60.
Yeah, you can shoehorn that in somewhere.
And he's got a damage-free hammer. If you decide you want to come and piss him off, he might take.
Which is re-rolling wounds on as well if you're in engagement range of a vehicle.
Yeah, exactly that.
That's nice.
He just gets well angry.
Yeah.
So we'll go on to the next guy, which is the Wolfguard Battle Leader. We both love this model. S-tier model.
Look, again, just the range has been stunning. The upgrades are fantastic.
Oh yeah, we lucked out. I think this guy's utility is probably one of the best utility ones we've got.
Yeah.
Because he's got fight on death in himself anyway.
Yes.
I personally think you give him the hammer, the Thunder Hammer.
Oh, 100%.
So 5 attacks, hit on 3s, strength 8, AP 2, 2 damage, death wounds.
Yeah.
Nice. I think there's in Saga of the Beast, you just put him in with Wulfen.
Yes, 100%. You need to go with Wulfen for sustain because they've only got 2 attacks each.
But I do think you take you take 2 of these potentially, because he just wildly buffs it. Like given a unit sustained, And like re-rolling the hit rolls of a 1, if I'm right in saying. That's pretty good.
Yes.
Like, you don't need your oath target if you've already got re-rolls.
True. I do like him in the bold detachment because +1 to hit. So a squad or something hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s. It's really nice.
It is nice. But is he as good as the Wolf Priest and Logan?
Depends on which detachment you want to put him in. I would take him, especially in the Beast Slayer. He needs to go with Wulfen.
I think he is actually above the Priest.
Yeah.
Behind Logan.
Yeah.
Maybe because I'm just a little bit in love with that guy's model and also what he does, and it just I just think actually there's some wild combos with Logan, but I think there's some also really good combos there with the. But then actually, is Ragnar better than the Wolf Priest? Not the Wolf Priest. Is Ragnar better than the Wolf Guard Battle Leader?
Yeah, just for the reroll wounds.
Yeah, that is true.
Big.
That is big. Now we're going to go on to what we love. Now I don't think they're at the tippy top, but we're gonna talk about that. We're going on to Bloodclaws.
Yeah.
Now they're eligible to declare a charge in the turn in which they advance. Now, I've played Custodian a long time, and advance and charge is essential.
Oh god, yeah.
Now, being able to be very fast across the board. Look at these Bloodclaws. I think it's amazing. I think the threat of 20. I think you just tag in units with 20 Bloodclaws is just going to be infuriating for your opponent. Because you could quite easily be really aggressive. You could push them really far up the board really quickly because they move 7. And then the next thing you know, you're just like in your opponent's face.
It's a 13-inch threat range just off the movement.
Yeah.
And then the 12-inch charge potentially, it's 25-inch threat range.
It's nuts. They're super good. And I think they belong in A tier personally.
Yeah. I like them in that bold attachment where you can get the enhancement for 7-inch scout move. So they're moving 14 inches before they've even been advanced. So potentially move 20 inches.
I think they just because they don't need Stormlance and Gladius to be amazing.
No.
I just like them, and I think there is a world where you take 60, 80 of these guys.
Yeah.
I think maybe the sweet spot
is the minimum if you're taking them.
I think there's a sweet spot. It depends on what list build you're doing, but I think 40 could be a real minimum.
Yeah.
But I think, and the reason I say 40, and we'll come to this in a minute, is because of obviously the amount of Wulfen you might take.
Yes.
So the next one is Grey Hunters. Now this I like. Look, they're OC free, which is pretty baller.
Yeah.
But what else do they do?
They reroll wounds on objectives, so they've got the assault and necessity keyword ability.
But are they that exciting?
I think I need to play around with them a bit more.
Because you can only take them as units of 10, if I'm right in saying no. And
they get a power fist in there, which is the Bloodclaws don't. Fine.
Okay.
You don't need the character ability with them really so much.
I mean, re-rolling wounds is nice.
Yeah.
Being OC free is nice.
Really
could be annoying, but but the points of them, I think that's what kind of makes it if they're worth
135.
taking.
I want to say that's probably a bit more.
So,
sorry, 180 for 10. They've gone down.
So 180 points. If you could take them in units of 5, then I think they'd be really worth taking.
Oh yeah,
100%. Because you could use them to steal objectives, but units of 10, I think it's just a bit too much.
Yeah, it's hard to hide that many.
So I think they go bottom of C.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't put anything in D tier. I don't think.
Well, yeah, we're going to get there.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, okay, I take it back. There is some stuff that goes in D.
There's one unit going in there.
Wolf Guard Headtakers.
Yeah.
They're good.
They are good.
They're just flat good. Are they S tier? No.
No.
Probably bottom of A, if not top of B.
Yeah, I'd say more towards B. I mean, with the invul, they're better.
Being able to do the dev wounds is really nice, and precision dev wounds. They are just picking out characters out of units quite nicely.
It's good that you can literally force an opponent to just go, right, you're staying back there because this unit is going to have devastating wounds and precision on them. It can be a bit of mind game with your opponent and just going, this unit is going to mess up this unit, so bring them out, please.
And
I think one squad of 6 is probably enough. I tried 3 squads of 3 and it gets a bit.
I like the hunting wolf combo in the sense that you could use your hunting wolves to just kind of sit in front of you.
Yeah, because they split at the formation step.
Yeah, exactly. So you could just screen your head takers. So if you're going into like, for example, any form of other combat army, being able to just push a load of wolves in their faces. Yeah, the wolves are just going to die like pretty much straight away because they're only tough as 4, 1 wound with a 6-up save. But they have got a 10-inch move, and you could just advance them forward and just kind of conga line them in a way so that you just can't easily get to.
Or alternatively, use them in your backfield and just use them as to screen your home objective, so you can literally go up the table.
Yeah, I did think that as well, and the points aren't that bad, are they? Really, if you take 220 points for 6 hunting wolves.
From the field manual, they went down. So for the 6 head takers without the wolves is 170, and 5 is 8 for 3 is 85 points, and obviously with the wolves they've not gone down. So 220 for 6 with 6 wolves.
I think that's actually quite reasonable, personally.
Yeah.
I think you take a unit. I think you take a unit just to use the wolves as a screening defensive tool, and I think then the head takers countercharge, because they're actually pretty tasty in combat.
I did think of a list that had 18 head takers and 18 blade guard, 910 points.
Wow, that's actually pretty reasonable. That's pretty reasonable. And they are very good. Like I think they go quite well. And you can give them objective control as well. The space wolves, like if with the hunting dogs, if they're within 6 of a character. But again, do you really care about that? I don't think so.
It will come up at some point. You'll be able to go, that's mine.
Yeah, I think they sit in top of B.
Yeah,
I think top of B. Next, we've got the Thunderwolf Cavalry. Now, this is I've seen on the internet a little bit divisive. Some people think they don't do as much damage as they used to. I think they do more, and they're cheaper. They're cheaper.
They did go up in points for the 6-man unit. They're 220 for 6.
That's still cheaper than when you used to take them with a character.
Than what it used to be.
Yeah. Do you take 18? No. Do you take 12, 6 or 12? Yeah, maybe. In Stormlance, they're just nuts. Like, they're toughness 6. They've got 4
Beast
wounds.
is really good because they can just go through a 4-inch wall.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
That is nice because the big staging pieces in all UK TC is 4 inches. So you just go through that massive piece and you go, QE. And they are rapid as well. Like in Stormlance, if you want to ignore that, you can yeet them like 21 inches.
Yeah.
And then charge.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Damage free on the charge as well, which is just incredible.
Yeah, and they've got 4 attacks each.
Yeah.
And if it's that oath target, they're just gonna absolutely murder bone it. It's like it's not even.
No.
So I do think they are A tier, personally.
Yeah, 100%.
I think they're resilient because of that 4-up involved, because you're always going to take the shields.
Toughness 6 and 4 wounds. It's really good.
Yeah, really good. We know that's good. We've seen it. We've seen it with the Terminator builds where they're all high toughness with loads of wounds with a 4-up involved. They're fast. They hit hard. They're OC2. You've got those extra attacks, and you've got grenade keyword as well.
I know. They can't carry a pistol, but they know how to throw a grenade.
Yeah, just hold on, guys. I'm just going to put my axe over here. Yoink.
Yeah. Well, they've put it in the dog's mouth.
Oh, yeah. He's just going to play fetch. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Fido, no. But I just think a unit of these guys just nuke what they touch.
Yes. They're certainly very good in Beast Slayer because of that.
Because lethals. Yeah, the lethals going through
Oh, yeah.
Very damaging. So I think A tier, and I think actually probably I actually think they're maybe near the top of A.
Yeah.
But me personally. I mean, I imagine some other people may be like, no, I think this is a bit lower, but actually I think they're very good.
Like you said, if it's going off the best attachment, which is Stormlance, which is Beast Slayer, they are A.
Yeah, absolutely. The Wolfguard Terminators. Now, they're tough as 5, but they do move 6, so they're faster than any Terminator out there.
Yeah.
They are only OC1. They're 3 wounds, but if they take the shield, they get...
They're 4 wounds.
4 wounds. So they're
And
4
why wouldn't you take a
pinball.
shield?
Yeah, you just always do. No one cares about guns in this detachment. So they've got damage 3 coming out the wazoo. So
But it's only one axe is going to have.
Yeah, but
one axe in that.
it might pop off with dev wounds.
Oh yeah,
and I do like it. I mean, they've got transhuman, which is nice.
Yeah.
Do I think they're A tier?
No.
Do you think they're A tier? No.
I mean, sticking them with Logan to deep strike in a mid-board objective and just go, cool, hi. Awesome.
Yeah, this is mine. This is mine now.
Yeah. And then just have that 12-inch aura of do a strat a day.
They are, like, being -1 to wound and 2 up, 4 up, 4 wounds is very good.
It is.
And they just get that innately. You don't need to give them a character. They could just be really tough on their own. You don't need a character in that unit. And I think for 5, they're not a hideous amount of points.
No, they went down 170 for 5.
I think you take 5.
Yeah.
If you've got the points. I think you take 5.
For 5. 340 for 10, which is, again, isn't bad.
I think they're quite good. They're quite killy. They hit quite hard. They're quite hard to remove.
Yeah.
I think you take them. I think they're better than some of the other Terminators out there.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think maybe bottom of B.
Yep.
I think you take a unit. I think potentially you take a unit. I do like them. Now, the Dreadnoughts. No, the Fenrisian Wolves.
Wolves.
So the Fenrisian Wolves are... yeah, but they're not great.
We're not talking about them. They're in D. That's it.
I mean...
But if you're taking them, it's because you've got 30 points spare in your list.
Yeah, they sit there. They're great for screening.
Sorry, 40 points.
If you've got 40 points, just use them to screen your backfield.
Yeah, and that's if you've taken all the enhancements you can possibly take.
I just think, yeah. I don't think that... I think that... Yeah. Yeah. They can do actions now.
If they're near a character, yes, because they'll have OC.
No, they don't need OC to do actions, do they? Isn't that what the latest rule change was?
I can't remember. There's been so many.
I think D. They're still D.
Yeah, they're still D. The fact they got a 6-up save with no invul and 1 wound, like, no.
Yeah, they're just going to be a nuisance, aren't they? But they just can't
3 attacks, the strength 4, hitting on 4s with no AP.
And they're beasts as well. Got beast keywords, so they can't go through the walls.
No.
Stupid keywords. However, the next one is Wulfen. But Wulfen without shields. The not so good ones.
No. I still want to give them a go.
I think look, they get a bazillion attacks. They don't get a bazillion attacks. They get 3 attacks. But they have a sustained.
Yeah.
And they make you take a desperate breakout.
Yeah.
And you get rerolls a hit 1 with the death totem.
You just, compared to the shields, for an extra 15 points, you just take shields.
You do just take shields. These guys sit probably at the bottom of C for me. They're just not great. They're just not. They're fast. These bad boys, these guys with the shields and hammers, whack up here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They are bananas. Like, they were sort of online saying that they don't do that much damage. I don't know why people would take them. And I'm like, well...
If you're taking the Beast Slayer, you're taking the Wolfguard Battle Leader to get sustained, putting 10 in there.
But if you put them in Gladius and then they've got moved, advance, and charge, my guy...
True.
And you're just like, whoop, here you go. Here's my toughness 6, like 4 up. Here's all the attacks, storm shields. They just Oh, that's just so good.
Yeah.
Unit of
8 again
10.
in Stormlance. 10, 30 of these. There are
Bang.
some certain players just going,
I think 20. I think I'd take 20 in a list.
yeah, yeah. If
I
I
think you
didn't
take.
have only 15, I'd probably take more, but only have
I think
15.
you take 10 as a blob,
Yeah.
and then you take 2 units of 5. And you go vroop, vroop, and they just do stuff. Obviously the OC 0, which is probably
You want
it
them
is
near
a
characters.
yeah. You want them going and skirmishing and killing
Yeah.
stuff in combat. And I suppose that's where the argument would come. Okay, well, do you just take if you're taking 2 units of 5, do you take the ones without a shield? And I say no, because you want that resilience.
Yeah.
As soon as you take that, like that shield, it all of a sudden becomes.
If they still had a feel no pain, then I can contemplate no shield.
Yeah,
But they need the shield to survive.
they do. I rate them personally.
Yeah.
I really rate them. So next we're on to our Dreadnoughts now. So we've got.
I'm shocked they survived the blooming Codex, to be fair.
I mean, one of them didn't even get a picture.
No.
I'm shocked. They got rid of the flyer.
Yeah.
But they kept these.
But normal Marines can have a Storm Raven, a Storm Hawk, and a Storm Talon, and we can't have a Stormfang.
No. I mean, don't get me wrong. They're cool Dreadnoughts.
They are. They're very cool.
And Murderfang is quite fun.
He is. Again, the first game I ever played with him, I took him because I was like, well, these are the best units. I've always loved these ones. The fact that he gives the Wulfen fight on death, but he doesn't. They still have to roll their 4-up that they used to do in the index.
Mm.
And he doesn't have his whole beast thing where
he can advance and charge though.
Yeah, but he used to have the ability to be able to. You hit him, he'd fight you.
Yeah.
If you shot him, he could shoot you. He was just bouncing from combat to combat all over the place. He's just a C, really, I think.
Yeah, I mean he has got 8 attacks twin linked, but he is hitting on 3. Strength 14, AP 2, 3 damage. He does slap.
He will blend, but he's got to get there. And he suffers from going through walls and.
Yeah, I think he's mid C.
Yeah.
I'm not that. And I think the Wulfen Dreadnought in general, I think the next one, I think
is a low C. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to take it.
No, you wouldn't.
The actual Venerable Dreadnought is better though. Like
he is. The wanted advance and charge rolls is really nice.
Which I think is quite cute. I like that if you want to like yeet stuff up the board. Yeah. Also, it's got that 4-up invulnerable save, 2-up, 4-up, 8 wounds.
Yeah.
OC3. The Fenrisian axe is got a strike ability and also then got a sweep ability.
Yes, which is a nice change.
You're not taking any guns on it, but who cares?
Well, it gets a flamer. You're fine.
Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. I actually think he's probably.
He's B.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's I'm quite happy with him existing there. But now we've looked at it and we've reviewed it. Have you got any here that you think we've probably put in the wrong place?
No, I mean, it's
a good codex.
Yeah, it's a small codex, yeah, but it's fairly easy to sort of go through, and it's going to be obviously with the addition of regular Space Marine units, you're going to be having Predators, you're going to have Ballistas, Vindicators, Scouts. There's going to be list builds for it. If you're just trying to be a Space Wolf aficionado and just run Wolf units, I don't think you're going to be upset by it. You're probably taking the standard ones that you have been taking, so Bloodclaws, Headtakers, Wulfen.
I think if you went purist and you didn't run any generic Marines, I think you still 3-2 at Super Majors.
Oh god, yeah. And some savant is going to go with 4-1 or win an event with them because they someone
will win an event with Space Wolves, but they will take other units because I think the data sheets in Space Wolves are good. There's flat 3 damage everywhere. You can buff. You can do whatever. You can do lots of they're really fast. There's lots of things you can do. I think the one thing about Warhammer is that if you're fast and resilient, you're just
It just
automatically.
comes down to the 4-ups. That's why we don't have Armor of Contempt, because we're just so reliant on 4-up involves.
However, if you take Gladius, you do get it,
And Stormlance, yeah.
and then that all of a sudden does change.
Yeah.
How good these guys are.
Yeah.
Wulfen become obscene.
Yeah.
You know, like
you're still going to see Wolf Jail.
You are going to get Wolf jailed.
I think it's probably a better version of Wolf Jail because you don't have the character tax to go with it.
Well, you're going to get Bloodclaw jail.
Yeah.
There is conversations that I've had where people are like, I'm going to take X amount of Bloodclaws and I'm going to tag and string across the entire of my opponent's deployment zone.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they're going to be able to do about it. And they're going to struggle to kill them because they're still Marines.
Yeah.
And they've still got 2 wounds. And the amount of attacks that will come in will probably mince a unit that they hit.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
And, you know, those Eldar builds with like the Spirit Seers and the mortal bombs.
Yeah.
That when you just trigger in a mortal bomb, you're not going to care if you lose 1 or 2 guys.
No. I could see Stormlance with 120 Bloodclaws and like 20 Grey Hunters and Bjorn being a thing.
Christ.
Because it's just.
But do you need
Stormlance?
They already get advance and charge.
No, it's probably more the reactionary move on it, but yeah. It probably wouldn't be Stormlance. No, you're right.
That'll be the one with the Thunderwolf Cavalry and the Wulfen.
Yes, yeah.
Because then that elevates Thunderwolf Cavalry and Wulfen.
Yeah, massively.
I think the best one is probably Gladius, personally.
Yeah.
Because I think that's
advance and shoot, fall back and charge, advance and charge.
I think it just works best with like the Iron Priest build, the Dreadnoughts, the actual units that you've got in there. I think that just makes them. That just kind of makes all of the units that little extra.
Yeah.
It's got good stratagems. You know, it's just a solid build. And if you are synchronizing other Space Marine units in, I think Gladius is the way. But don't get me wrong.
Becomes sort of Iron Stormish.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong though. Slayer of the Beast is a good detachment, and someone will do well with Slayer of the Beast.
Of course they will.
The other 2 detachments are still good, but I think they just take a little bit more nuance and finesse.
Yeah. Like Beast Slayer seems to be the one. I've done 3 or 4 games with Beast Slayer, and it felt like it took time for me to get my lethals on everything. Whereas the Hunter, the Saga of the Hunter, so the Bloodclaw one, basically, you have to kill 3 units. So yeah, Saga of the Hunter, you have to kill 3 units, and then your whole army gets +1 to hit and +1 to wound.
Which is nice.
Which is phenomenal. I was doing that with Bloodclaws against Josh yesterday. Fine, yeah, it was a monster mash, nasty build, but it's one of those you just go, well, I'm going to chop through it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, there's that one I'm leaning more towards at the moment.
Nice. So I think we could probably say we are happy with our tier review. This is the beginning of our Space Wolf journey. We're gonna have like a conversation. We're gonna decide what we're gonna talk about next, or maybe someone in the comments will come up with a really good idea. I imagine we'll start talking about combos very, very soon.
Yep.
And I'm very excited.
Yes, me too. I can't wait to get Logan on the table. I may have to ship him out for somebody good to paint him.
I'm very excited, and we're so excited that we're even doing like a quick, easy painting tutorial for how to paint Space Wolves. I've been doing them in shorts. We will be making that into a fuller release soon. There's gonna be lots of Space Wolf content to come. We're very excited. We will be in touch with how we do events if we get a chance to run them at events. Simon, is there a chance you could be bringing this to the Black Crow Gaming Invitational?
I could be convinced. Yeah, I don't see why. That's supposed to be a fun weekend, right?
Yeah, I think so.
As long as nobody puts me on a clocker from running 120 Bloodclaws, we'll be fine.
I think Ed is so Ed Watts is a part of the invitation. He was invited to come. He's bringing Space Wolves as well.
Oh, nice! Not bringing his Thousand Son disgustingness.
No, he's decided he's going to leave the goats at home.
Oh, okay. He wants to make some friends. Good lad.
Yeah. All I did was so Ed from 6 Plus, he also runs amazing events at Firestorm Games in Cardiff.
Yeah.
I went to one of those events recently, and we were sitting there talking, and he was just like, oh man, I'm going to run this list with all of these goats. And since then, I've just proceeded to get either memes or goat jokes, or and then midway through like his first game, he just messaged me and went, oh lord, this list is broken.
Really?
Yeah. He just ran like 80 goats from Thousand
Oh,
Suns.
God. And with the reactionary move ability as well.
Yeah, and obviously he's just you can kill your own units out of line of sight. So you just poke out one goat and go, "Hi."
Yeah.
Do it. And then he just brings them back.
He's horrible.
Ed
I mean, he liked the guy, but he's just horrible.
Yeah, he's just doing some beautiful things. Anyway, we're gonna stop talking about the Black Crow Invitational. We've got that going. We're gonna be doing more events soon.
Yes.
We're aiming to do small scale events, but quality events in local areas, potentially coming to you very soon.
Yes.
But what we want to say is big thank you. If you get a chance to watch this, if you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. Me and Simon will be back very soon. And if you disagree with what we've done, we don't care. No, we do care. Just put it in.
Care.
Yeah, put it in the comments.
Especially if it's a valid opinion. If you're just being mean, I don't care.
Don't be mean to me.
Don't be mean.
Don't be mean.
Be mean to Toby.
Be mean to Toby, yeah. Be mean to Toby. And on that note, see you later, guys. Thank you very much.